fan. He's the co-host of Culture Connection. He's made a few appearances on our channel, and to be honest, there's no one you'd rather talk Simone Inzaghi with at the moment than with Jerry Mancini. So, Jerry, my bro, thanks for joining us again on Inter Worldwide. How are you, man?
Not bad, not bad. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad. So, very interesting fallout after match day 38, my friend. And I'll go straight to you because I think the Lazio fans were just as shocked at Simone Inzaghi leaving as we were with Antonio Conte leaving. But the managerial merry-go-round is very much in full effect in Serie A when you've got 6 of the top 9 clubs changing their sidemen. It's going to be chaos, bro. So, first of all, if you're in the chat already, if you're one of the first 7 people watching the video, that's awesome. That kicks me off well at 5:40 in the morning in Sydney. So make sure you leave a like and comment as well. What's going on to Zio Sharma, the regular in the chat, and of course our boy Akil as well. So thanks for coming, guys. And Jerry, all you, bro. Inzaghi, your boy, gone. What's your initial reaction at him leaving with the whole Lotito scenario and whatnot?
I'm on the notion that there's 2 options. There's 2 sides. Obviously, you hear that Lotito had offered him a contract 5 months ago, and that he was waiting to sit down with him. And then you got Inzaghi on the last day, basically says that I waited 16 months. I'll wait 3 more days. I can wait. We'll discuss the whole contract thing. Then comes Wednesday. They talk about it. They have dinner. And I personally don't think that there was ever a actual contract discussed. Like, I feel like the information was there, but nothing was settled upon. Why would Inzaghi go home and not agree on anything? Now, if he had given him his gentleman agreement, I feel that it's kind of a slap in the face to everything he's done for 22 years. Your word is strong because it's not like, I've said this on previous podcasts, it's not like Conte where he left after 2 years. There's no strong binding between him and the club. He left, that's it. I know that people are very disappointed without Conte, but at the same time, there wasn't a true Interesti there. Like, I think he may have started to build as one, but was never one. For Lazio, losing Inzaghi, that's a true Laziale where you're hoping that he left on his own terms. At the end of the day, it's Lotito's fault because he left this way too long. He had enough time to bury the hatchet and give him what he wanted, the add-ons, the money, whatever he was offered. But if Lotito's telling the truth, which I highly doubt because this guy has a history of a bad rep where, let's just go back to the whole COVID scandal, and he was suspended and he got a fine. So that kind of tells me that this is the kind of guy I can't trust when it comes to this kind of stuff. But it's disappointing that he's leaving. But on the same side, maybe it was time for Inzaghi to leave because he had given the club as much as he possibly could. Like, he won a Coppa Italia. He won 2 Super Coppa Italiana. He brought in the Champions League. Maybe he thought that he wasn't going to get the players that were able to help him with the project.
No, and let's face it, Simone Inzaghi, he has gotten a few players for you guys, but he's never able to walk into a store and buy whatever he wants at a club like Lazio the same way he could at maybe a Juve or at an Inter. So I think Simone Inzaghi is looking at the next step in his career going, well, if it's not now, when is it going to be? And if you, Lotito, and the club cannot give me guarantees, cannot push me in a direction where I feel like I deserve to be heading, well, then Beppe Marotta's on the other line, and that's a really hard no to give no matter what. Would you agree?
Well, here's the thing, okay? With Inzaghi, okay? He hasn't been able to – you got a team here, you can't spend a lot of money, right? Now you got guys like Gagliardini, Sensi, well, just 2 that come to my mind. Now you start thinking about Ciro Immobile, Luis Alberto. Those guys, when Inzaghi took over, were nobody. They were in a point in their career where they were really lost and didn't know where to go. Inzaghi has proven to turn players' careers around. And a lot of these unsung players that you're going to need to get the best out of next season. I think that Inzaghi is the kind of guy who can push them, get them to that next level. And I like Inzaghi.
We're digressing into this.
Inter.
Yeah, go for it. The question was, Jerry, what do you expect from Inzaghi? But sorry to cut you off, but I'll just give you that platform and then you can go for it again. Because a lot of Inter fans are saying, well, yeah, tactically he's similar, but in terms of personality, man management style, what can we expect from this guy on the touchline?
I think that first he has the people skills that Conte does and doesn't have in a way. He will push his players to the limit, but he won't overexert them. That's one thing. He's built. Look at the respect that he got yesterday from Acerbi, Immobile, Alberto, Correa. That just shows you how much the team respects him as an individual and as a coach. He was able to get Alberto to that next level, like he said in his playing career. Cherby, in a point in his career where he didn't know where he was going. He came to Lazio after he left Sassuolo, and it was kind of a bleak period. And 3 fantastic years under Inzaghi. The only problem with Inzaghi is that he's very committed to the 3-5-2. And with Conte last season, he was able to kind of switch it around as the game progressed. He sometimes changes tactics. I don't know off the top of my head, but he would basically adjust as the game went on. And Inzaghi doesn't have that in him personally. It'd be interesting to see with better players, maybe he is able to adapt and can kind of change the way he approaches the game. With Lazio, he never had any depth. His options off the bench were very limited, maybe 2 good options at best. With Inter, he'll have much more to choose from. What else? He doesn't like playing young players, which I don't like. I'm pretty sure Inter has a few good young prospects that can be featured in the lineup that can give some valuable minutes. That's something he just never did. Guys like Raul Mauro never got a chance. Nicolo Armini never got a chance. So it may be an Inter situation. Guys who are young might be a good option as well because of the financial situation.
Yeah, and that's what our next commenter, Cesare, says. We have so many debts. We have debts in Inter and we have debts in the holding. How can we afford this situation? Cesare, the situation is pretty black and white, man. We've let go Antonio Conte to save on a 12 million per season salary. We're bringing in Inzaghi for 1/3 of that price, and we are going to look to clear out 1 or 2 household names. If the rumors are true, we're going to bank in between 70 and 80 million for Hakimi. Jerry, I think I speak for all Inter fans when I say that's one of the last players we want to see leave, but please point me in the direction of where you're ever going to get that sort of money for a right back ever again in your life, especially in this climate, man. What do you think?
I think he's the last person you should be selling personally. I think the money is good, but Lautaro Martinez is the guy who has to go. That's just me personally. I would use Pinamonti instead of Lautaro Martinez. Seriously, like if it means to go, hold on, and I'll tell you why. And I know people are gonna think I'm crazy, and I know Pinamonti is a step down. You got to sacrifice players, right? Inzaghi's system is based around wingbacks. You need 2 good wingbacks in order for Inzaghi to be effective with his 3-5-2. At Lazio, he adjusted Maricic to a left wing back, and he used Lazzari on the right side. That was when Lazio was always most effective. Like, he needs 2 strong wing backs in order for his system to work. That allows the midfielders to have more space inside the middle. Like, I'm telling you, if you don't have 2 good wing backs, his system does not work well. Like, that's just the way it is, personally, for me. You need someone who can go up and down the field. That's how I always thought Lazio was always effective. When Lazzari was never as dominant, we were never as effective. Maricic as well. Like, those are the 2 prime position you need in a 3-5-2. Yeah, you want Martinez, but I think that as long as you have Lukaku up top, I still think that a guy with Pinamonti or whoever else you decide to go, even if you go with a cheaper option in the transfer market, Lautaro Martinez is the guy for me to go if you can get 80 million.
Yeah, well, the striker position is probably one of your easiest to reinforce, especially if you've got both Lautaro and Lukaku. I think the argument at the moment is that although he's been so dominant at 28 years old, you might be looking to cash in for Romelu Lukaku a little bit earlier than 23-year-old Lautaro. But as an Inter fan, I really don't want to sell Lukaku, man, or Lautaro. I'd really like to keep them both, but we're in a little bit of a pickle at the moment. So we'll just have to see what happens. I'm really excited at the fact that, Marotta has employed Inzaghi for continuity, tactics-wise. I think it would have been an absolute disaster to bring a manager into this Inter side to switch up the tactical fluidity, because Conte really has instilled this team not only with a mentality, but with, that sort of real precise sort of style of play that's going to be very hard for them to break out of. So that's why I think the appointment for Inzaghi was the right one. Just quickly before we move on to something else, how far do you think Inzaghi can go with this Inter next season? Do you think he'll be able to challenge at the top?
Absolutely. I don't see why he can't. If he managed to do it last year with a very not a deep squad, let's say, okay, I don't see why he can't do it with an Inter squad. As long as they don't, here's the thing, as long as Inter doesn't sell more than, say, 2 or 3 players, I see this team can still compete. Big reason why your back three. Your defense is what Lazio lacked last year. Yeah, you have a striker. Yeah, you have wing backs. You have midfield. I said all that. But without a strong defense, your team is useless. And Lazio proved that. Game in and game out, we can never defend if our life depended on it, because we relied on Acerbi way too much. Started off really well, and then as the season progressed, he dipped in form. Stefan Radu couldn't stay fit, and when he was fit, he did provide. He was really good on the left side. And then our right side was always weak, and what happened was we had to adjust Maricic to the back, and our left wing back had to be used as Senalulic, which is okay, but not the same player he used to be in the last 5 seasons. So I think your back end will really give you Inter a chance to compete for Scudetto. I think this is a good team. Now, goalkeeping position like this, goalkeeper, who knows, man? You might have to start with Samir, but I don't see why Radu can't start. Like that's an option that should be tested. He did good last year, I believe, with Genoa when he was on loan, or 2 seasons ago, or was it last year when he was on loan with Genoa? Ago. He's proven to be a capable backup. I don't see why he can't get more starts. Here's another issue. Why are you starting Samir Handanovic every single game? And I'm hoping that Inzaghi doesn't do the same issue at Lazio, where he used Peperena every single game and never used Strakosha. 2 quality goalkeepers. You balance it out. Something you should consider, that Samir has not. He's not 20 anymore. He's 36. He's not no spring chicken. Like
exactly right, man. And when part of your game is fundamental as reaction time starts to slip, I think it's only natural that we look to replace. I don't think we're going to replace him as a first-team goalkeeper this season because of our financial restrictions, but I would agree with Jerry, and anyone who watches the channel regularly knows how long I've been wanting Handanovic to take the back seat. And now that he's got his Scudetto, I think it's going to be a lot easier for him to transition to the bench. Anthony, thoughts on Real? Is he a Maicon in the making or another Jonathan? I actually haven't watched a lot of him, this Emerson Royal. But to be honest, I'm very, very skeptical of these young players coming out of big clubs, especially like that Barcelona academy. They play 3 or 4 games in the first team, and all of a sudden they're worth 35, 40 million, like that Ansu Fati, and all of them, basically all of them. So you got to be careful with purchases like this. And in a situation like this, I dare say Inter's in a situation where they might need to start looking at their youth a little bit more. There's 24 people here at the moment, so make sure you like the video and subscribe if you are new, and drop a thank you for Jerry Mancini for joining us as well. What do you think about Musso? I like Musso as a goalkeeper, but is he really that much better than Radu? We've got Radu on the bench ready to go, and he came on a couple of times last season, only a couple of times, but confident with the ball at his feet, confident in coming out a little bit and intercepting crosses, something that Handanovic has not been comfortable in doing for the last 2 seasons at all. Was Donnarumma never a choice because of his Milan roots? Bro, I don't think anyone knows what's going on with that situation there. I'll let Jerry comment. If it is true, bro, what are your thoughts on Donnarumma knocking back the exact same wage at Milan to go and join Juventus, if it's true?
It's a slap in the face. I think he's a disgrace. I speak neutral, that He should have just stayed with Milan. Here's the thing. He's what, 21, 22? He's young. I think he's like 22 or 23.
Very young.
The maturity hasn't settled into this game, into this guy. That's the problem. He is not a mature player. He lacks maturity, and he's making some rash decisions right now, and it's really going to hurt his legacy moving forward. He could have been a Milan legend. Now he's going to be a nothing legend, in my opinion. Could just be the fact that he has a agent that represents him that is really poor and just looks out for his own interests, and he wants to get as much fees as possible in the contract that Donnarumma signs. It makes no sense. Why would you go to Juve to become, I don't know, the backup, possibly? Hey, Mario. Why would you want to be why would you want to be a backup possibly at Juve? You know what I mean? Like, Szczesny still has a lot in him. He's not a bad goalkeeper. Donnarumma will not be.
He's also not the. Szczesny's also not the type of guy that will appreciate being told, "Hey, you've been number one for 4 years. Take a back seat for a 22-year-old." He's actually got a bit of attitude and charisma about him. He wouldn't be happy with that.
No, exactly. The whole approach about Gigi Donnarumma is just—it's all bad. This could have been resolved a long time ago. It caused a distraction probably during the season as well, not knowing if he was going to go, was he not going to go. He said that Champions League mattered to him. Milan has Champions League. Why is this not an issue now? Like, why? That should have given him an incentive to stay with Milan. So I think he's in the wrong. And if for Milan, you know what? Leave. They just got what was his name? Mike Magnon. They got from Leo, if I said his name right, if I remember the cheaper quality goalkeeper. He got 22 clean sheets this season. I see no issues. This is smart business by Maldini. And you know what? Good on Maldini for not being pushed around. He's basically saying, this is the way we're going to go. Don't like it. There's the door.
Yeah, fair enough. Bro, I wanted to ask you, because you obviously you know how Simone Inzaghi utilized Luis Alberto to his fullest potential and ability. Do you think that Christian Eriksen will be made to explode a little bit more under Inzaghi? Now, before anybody says anything, a lot of Inter fans, you know how sooky they can be, bro. Even when he was playing well under Conte, they were saying, you know, Conte's holding Eriksen back. Eriksen's not being utilized. I was the type of fan to go, guys, can you fucking relax? We're pissing the league by 12 points. Whatever the boss says is okay on the pitch, the boss says is okay. However, a lot of fans are excited at the prospect of Eriksen moving a lot more forward under Inzaghi and having a lot more freedom to play in between the lines. How do you think Eriksen can be used by Inzaghi, man? And do you think it will be very similar to the way Alberto was utilized at Lazio?
Absolutely. Inzaghi is more of an attack-minded kind of coach. I don't know. I've watched a lot of Inter this year, and I thought that Eriksen playing more deeper didn't benefit him a lot. His defensive skills are not to his that's his weakness. And similar to Alberto, where he is not good at defense. And a guy who gets kind of overshadowed and forgotten in the Lazio midfield is Lucas Leiva. And Lucas Leiva kind of playing a more deeper role behind Alberto and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic allows both of those players to play in their comfortable roles up front. It allows Alberto to be more attack-minded, play more forward. And I can see him, an Eriksen compared to like Alberto, playing behind, say, Lukaku, where he'll give those passes and he'll be into those areas where he can set him up and create chances. That's why I see Eriksen being more used. And he said he wanted it more. He said publicly that he wants more an advanced role with Inter, and I think that he'll get that from Inzaghi, because Inzaghi's not the kind of guy to play players out of position. Even Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, many people wanted to see him play more offensively, but he kind of made him more of a holding midfielder where he was good on the defensive side, but also good on the offensive side. He never really committed him up front. That was just purely Alberto, because that was the guy who can do everything behind Immobile. So a guy like Eriksen should be doing that as well.
Yeah, fair call. If you're one of the 26 people here at the moment in the video, which is a great number, like the video before you leave, please. And we are sticking around for about another 10 minutes or so. Do you like Raspadori? He's a super Inter fan. In this day and age, man, I always welcome players that really, really want to play for the shirt and the badge. They might give you that extra 3 or 4% when needed. And when it comes down to finding a clutch goal, I think Raspadori has proven that he knows how to find the net. However, I will say to fans, just be cautious at your level of downgrade, yeah, because we can act enthusiastic as we want about new players coming through, but we've really forged a strong attack in Lukaku and Lautaro. And a kind of attack that didn't just forge overnight. We had to work at it to make it the best attack in the country. So whatever happens, ragazzi, Inter fans, if we replace one of Lukaku and Lautaro, please don't expect that replacement to hit the ground running straight away. All good things take time. Donnarumma to stay at Milan or move abroad. Bro, trust me, he's not staying at Milan anymore. That bridge looks burned for all money, in my opinion. It's got to be Juve or Barcelona. What else we got? Indra Hari, Inzaghis 3-5-2 didn't transform to 4-2-4. His Metzala push more while wingbacks run late to provide wide to combine with strikers and Metzala. Yeah, that's pretty much what Jerry was saying at the start of the video. So if we are going to sell Hakimi, we really are going to need to make sure that the replacement for Hakimi is someone who is attacking minded and can really get the ball in and cross it in properly. This is one thing that we knew was a flaw with Hakimi, and it only just started improving, Jerry, as the season went on, was his finishing product with the ball. Hakimi was the best at getting, 20 yards ahead of a defender, making all the space for the world, and then overhitting the ball by 20 meters out for a throw in. So if we can get someone on that right-hand side who's just a little bit more precise with his delivery, I think that'll help a lot. What's the score, by the way, in that Portugal-Italy game? Is it still 2-0?
No, it's 2-1, actually. It's 2-1. Italy scored just before halftime.
Nice.
Would you consider selling Sensi?
Yeah.
Would you consider? Do you think anybody would? Is he an option?
Who's going to take him now, bro? Who's going to take him at the money that we want? Like we paid in total, I think, about 23 million for him. We redeemed the last, I think, 15 last season. But at the moment, man, he's just looking like a man made out of glass, and couldn't even play against Udinese, which is pretty much a glorified friendly, that match day 38, without pulling up. And it's not, when Sensi gets injured, he doesn't try to walk it off. He literally will fall to the floor and go, shit, I think I'm done again today. Whoever was to sign him, just beware. Although, who knows, maybe it's Conte's training regime that grinded him into the ground. When it comes to our midfielders, Jerry, especially our technical ones, your likes of Sensi, Eriksen, and Brozovic, two of those have got to stay. Two of those have got to stay, in my opinion. If Sensi's the one that leaves for 20 million, great. If Brozovic leaves for 30, I won't complain. I feel like we've seen I don't think he's finished at Inter, but we know that Brozovic is a little bit of a liability when things aren't going that great. And I think with the breakdown of Conte's system and a new wave being born into the club, I think he might actually struggle to adjust. So out of those three, I would actually keep Christian Eriksen and probably Stefanos Sensi. But either way, Christian, we're definitely selling one of those three. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a good question. Sensi, who the heck knows if there are any buyers? You know what? Let's just say that he is included in the Italian squad, and he does feature for Italy in the Euros. That can be a big benefit for Inter, because it will showcase that there's potential there to sell him. You're right, Brozo. He's 28 years old. He's in his prime. Do you sell him now and you get what you can now for him, and you recoup something, or do you keep on going with him and knowing that maybe you've gotten the most out of Brozovic? It's a good point there. Like I'm basically I'm keen on that one. I think that makes sense. It's a possibility you sell Brozovic. I've always thought that maybe you sell him, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, well, with Barella being a pretty much shoe-in to start, we'd only be looking to replace one of those midfielders, and we've got dead weight on the bench that needs to go, man. There's no reason why we should be keeping all Vecino, Gagliardini, Raja Nainggolan, João Mario. I'm pretty sure João Mario is going to Sporting Lisbon for 8 million. Cagliari will probably pay in between 3 and 4 for Nainggolan. So it's peanut money, but in this climate, man, everything counts. While I've got you here, man, Lazio, who's going to be their next manager, and where do you see them going next season, bro? Because talk about rebuild and shaking up a mentality, you're really going to need some leaders in that locker room.
Well, I saw today that Maurizio Sarri is having a meeting as we speak with Iglitare, And that's the one guy who they want. They get Sarri, and to me, that is a big statement. And I was saying that here's the thing with Inzaghi. The fact that he had left really opened up it unleashed the beast of Claudio Lotito. And I think that he's going to spite him now. He's going to go out, spend money for a manager. He's going to buy the players that he needs, and he's going to show him that you shouldn't have left me in the first place. You made a big mistake leaving Lazio, and maybe this was the push that fans were waiting for to see Lotito finally give something to Lazio. This is the kind of guy who doesn't like to be betrayed, and let's just say that Inzaghi did break his word, lied to Lotito, and threw his trust in the garbage. Now he's thinking, well, you know what? You want to go to Inter? I'm going to show you what you could have had, and now that you don't have it anymore. And he also said that what goes around comes around. So sometimes I think that quote is very strong because, like, maybe he's saying, well, this is what you could have had, and I told you in the agreement that I was willing to back you up. I was willing to give you more money. You left me. I was here for 22 years for you, and now you're gone. I saw that he asked about Stefan Radu. Radu was apparently supposed to sign a 1-year contract. I don't know anymore if that's going to be in the works because Inzaghi's gone. I think that he would be a good backup to Bastoni. Guy was one of our best defenders this year. I know he's 34, still has plenty to offer. Good leadership, great experience, workhorse, plays that left side like to a T, and he plays a back three. So that's the biggest positive. He understands how to play with Inzaghi. I think the two have a really good relationship. So I think that would be a plus for Inter.
Yeah. This question here, Inzaghi gives some info about staffs that he will bring to Inter. Who will he bring to replace Pintus? If you don't know, Pintus was basically our physio trainer, basically our strength and conditioning trainer, one of the best in the world. He came under Conte. And how is Lazio's injury record, especially with muscular injuries? So what do you know about Inzaghi's training regime, the backroom staff, and what's your injury history like?
So I don't know anything about the actual staff other than our assistant, and that's Massimiliano Fares. And I saw that he probably will. I was reading today that 7 of his assistants, his staff members, will be joining the nutritionist. Our injury history isn't great. Guys like Luis Felipe that can't stay healthy if his life depended on it. Alberto has been consistently injured, I'd say, in the last 2 seasons. Maricic finally just got healthy this season. The season prior couldn't stay healthy. Immobile somehow has managed to stay healthy in the last 5 seasons. I don't know how, with the amount of playing time that's gone through him. Lazzari, another injury prone. Acerbi started to see injuries this year. I've heard people complain about our physio and the injuries that happen at Lazio. The one person I say that will be the biggest positive is his assistant, Fares. He is really good trying to control the ship, motivator. He's not more – Inzaghi's more tactically, whereas Fares is more keeping the team afloat, and he keeps positive relationships, all that stuff on the side. He's a good assistant. I think that he'll provide a lot to Inter. I guess time will tell, but the coaching staff has never been that bad with what I've seen. So yeah, fair enough. One of the good things about Inter was our backroom staff was always quite good as well under Conte. You had Stellini and Oriali that were always making that man management connection from pitch to locker room. So that's good to hear as well, Jerry. It's been a fantastic chat. It's been a short one. I wish I could stick around a little bit longer, but I need to be on the road in about 5 or 10 minutes. So, Jerry, for any of the Inter fans watching, what are some nice parting words for us to expect from Inzaghi? Is it all good? It's not too doom and gloom. I know losing Conte is a big loss, but I think as the days have gone by, we're realizing that relationship was temporary. No matter what, we're probably only going to get one other season out of him before the meltdown started. So I'm starting to get excited, and it sounds like you're a little bit excited for Inter fans as well for Inzaghi, because I know you're an Inzaghi fan. So any parting words for us? Yeah, just be patient. Even even if there's a few losses at the beginning of the season or it's a slow start, that's Inzaghi just trying to get his feet wet. He's going to need some time to understand what he has, what he can work with, just trying to build his tactics into like the players are going to need to adjust to a new manager as well. So I feel like a few games you don't overreact. I say like anything that's new, it needs time, and I really feel that Inzaghi will get the best out of this team. And the last thing is that I feel that Inter will be able to compete on more than one front this year. I see Inter at least going to the round of 16 finally. That is a positive because he did it with Lazio, and I don't see why he cannot do it with Inter now.
Yep.
So
100%. It was a great Champions League campaign. You had a tough group. You had to get through Dortmund, and it's just the unluckiness of the draw that you get put up against a powerhouse like Bayern. I don't think any Italian team would have done much better. Guys, thank you very much to the 24 people still in the chat. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to follow Jerry at jmancini8. Anything you want to plug or do for yourself, Jerry, before we leave?
I just wrote a piece on Lukaku today, actually, which will be released for Serpents of Mandarina, basically how important he's been to Inter. And I did a season review on Lazio. That's it, basically.
Awesome, bro. Fantastic. All right, from everyone here at Inter Worldwide and from Jerry Mancini, have a great day. We'll probably link up soon. Euros are around the corner. Yeah, should be fun. So thanks a lot, Jerry, for lending us your time on Inter Worldwide regarding this.
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Anytime. From all of us here at Inter Worldwide, Forza Inter. Ciao.